Hey everyone, welcome back to the Let's Talk Teaching podcast. I am your host, Kayla Durkin, and today we are flying right into our second interview where we are interviewing first year teachers at the end of their first year of teaching so they can share with us the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, everything they have thrived doing throughout the year and just everything that has went well for them. So today we are going to interview a 4K teacher. Oh my gosh. Her name is Payton, and I can't wait for you to get to know her a little bit better. So, Payton, welcome. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about you?
So my name is Payton Williams, and I am a 4K teacher in Lancaster, South Carolina. I graduated in May of 2021 with my bachelor's in early childhood from Coastal Carolina. And then this past Saturday, I graduated with my master's from Coastal Carolina with my instructional technology degree. So this is my first year teaching, and I'm absolutely loving it.
So, first things first, tell us about getting your master's during your first year of teaching because I get that question a lot. How do you manage it? How do you do it? How'd you feel?
It was crazy busy at times. I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know which way I'm going. But time management is really, really important to block out time for school, block out time for job, block out time for personal, just life in general.
Absolutely. So, do you utilize a calendar a little bit where you actually block off your time and you say, here's my set time, I'm working on this?
Um, yes and no. I have my planner where each day I say what I need to do to get done that day. I don't do exactly time blockage, but I kind of have a general idea of school gets out at, I'm normally done by 3:15. I can work on school's my college stuff until I go to the gym, depending on what time that is, and then it's personal time after that.
I love that. I love that you are finding a way to balance it all, which I know is so hard during your first year of teaching, but hearing that you are still making moving your body a priority just makes everything so much better. It keeps you healthier, it keeps you a little more energetic. It just helps you have a reason to keep going and to look forward to the end of the day as well.
Yes.
So let's dive in and let's first dissect the word 4K because I know there are going to be listeners who aren't quite sure what that is.
Yes, so 4K is 4-year-old kindergarten, and in South Carolina, you kids can qualify for the 4-year-old kindergarten program, which is a pre-kindergarten year in the public school system. There are different qualifications that students have to meet. Low income, high risk students are what we see most of the time, and anybody who is in the foster care system automatically has a way in South Carolina. So those are the children that I have in my room.
Nice. Okay. So tell us about your first year of teaching. How'd it go?
This year has been way more than I could have ever expected. It has been so much learning. Our class motto is learn together, love together. So we're learning, but we are loving big time. It's been absolutely amazing. I've had a great group of students. We do have our difficulties here and there that we're working through, that we're learning through. I've had a great group of parents who are very supportive, who are very active in their child's learning. So that's always helpful. Just the group of people that I work with has been great. They're very supportive. So I have two different groups that I work with. I work with my kindergarten team here at my school, and then I work with the district 4K. And so anytime I have questions, they're always there to help me when they can, or they find out the answers when I need it.
Oh, that's awesome. It's so great that you have support. And so I know that you felt pretty prepared going into your first year of teaching. We had some coaching calls last summer, and I know you were always busy working on things. So tell us what you did to prepare yourself.
So I knew pretty early that I was going to be in 4K. So I started talking to several of the teachers in the district that I knew about what were some big ticket things that I should get done. So I went ahead and prepared my classroom decor. I had that kind of ready in a 4K mindset. So alphabets with very simple fonts, with very simple print so they could read it eventually. I started going ahead and getting all of that done. I started thinking of what this classroom had, what it needed. So I bought a lot of storage. I bought a lot of shelving just to keep things organized, which I think is very important no matter what age you have. Organization, if you're organized, it helps the kids be organized. So I bought the 10 drawer carts and had those labeled for each kid ready to go. A lot of just pre-prep specifically for 4K.
Oh, I love that. That's so awesome. So tell us about your favorite part of this school year.
Oh, my favorite part. There's so much. I have seen tremendous growth in my kids. My favorite day this entire year was one morning we start out, we have our shared reading time, and my little boy that came into my room not speaking at all, he was able to read this whole book by himself, front to back, about 6 pages. Again, it was like, I see the chicken, I see the animal. It was super easy, but for him at 4 years old, that was a big thing. And then later that afternoon, I was awarded our school's Teacher of the Year for
Yay.
beginning year. So that was very, very exciting.
Yes, so I know you messaged me about that as well. So there was a school, each school got to choose one, right? And then you went on to compete for the district too, right?
Yes, ma'am. So each school in our district had a Teacher of the Year and then a Beginning Teacher of the Year. And Beginning Teacher of the Year is anybody within their first to third year of teaching. So there was about four of us at my school, and I ended up getting that. And then I think the following week we were told to submit a video lesson that we taught, and they would move on to the top five in the district. And I was in that qualifying group. So we haven't heard anything else from that, but that's exciting that I'm in at least the top five for the district.
That is amazing. I am so darn happy for you. What an
Thank
amazing way
you.
to kick off your first year of teaching. I mean, you're not even your second year or your third year, but your very first year.
Yes, it has been exciting.
Awesome. So, what are some of the struggles that you went through this school year?
My biggest thing coming in was that I am on the kindergarten team, but I'm the only 4K classroom here at the school, which is difficult when you don't know which direction, kind of like, where should I even start? What should I do? And 4K is a little different. We don't have a set curriculum that we follow that kind of, I don't love curriculum, but it is a good kind of guidance of kind of where to go, where to be. Um, so once I kind of got my feet wet and figured out what was happening, where it would be best for me to start and then end up, that was a lot easier. But coming in, just kind of like, I don't know where to go, where to start, what should I really focus on first, was probably my biggest struggle.
I don't think you're alone when you say that. And I know most people who are listening know that was quite like my journey as well. The only fourth grade teacher in the building. We didn't have a math curriculum. I made 10 million mistakes. And so I guess for you going through it right now, I mean, I know you're at the end of it, but just going through what you went through this school year, for anyone who's listening to this and they end up being in that position, what would you say to do first? Like if they took a first step, what would you advise them to do?
First, if there is anybody, if you have just coaches in your school, if you know any teachers, maybe even the grade above or below, reach out to them. Okay, what exactly do they absolutely need to know
Yeah.
before they come to you? Or what was the last thing that you left off on? Do you have any data from the year before of where this group is really kind of falling behind to start off with? I think would be the biggest thing. And then do some research online. Teachers
Mhm.
Pay Teachers has some great just resources to kind of guide you, pacing guides that your district should have in place. I didn't find those until about 2 months into school. So I had a 4K teacher share those with me, and I was like, oh, this would have been great to have at the beginning of the year. So there are people who you can reach out to. It may not be direct answers, and you may have to go in and do your own kind of research and dig in, but don't get frustrated at yourself. Don't give up on yourself, and love your kids, and that's enough.
Yep.
You'll get the curriculum when it's time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you mentioned that your district had those pacing calendars, but you didn't really know where to find them for those first couple months. Because for anyone who is listening, that is one of those questions that it's a great reminder to say, you know what, before this year starts, at least figure out if they have one or not. If they don't, then yes, then we're going to have to start asking those other teachers and doing a little bit more investigating, but definitely ask the question and see if they have them because it'll be a lot more, you'll feel a lot more confident jumping into what you
Mhm.
are going through. So tell us, over your first year of teaching, were there any teachers that gave you any advice that you were like, yes, this one hits home?
So I've had a lot of good advice come. My favorite, and this is not classroom related, it is not curriculum based, it's not teaching based, but my cooperating teacher for my senior internship said to put wheels on your furniture. And that is the best advice I have ever received because I literally did not like the way my room looked one day. And I said, I want this to change. So the end of the day, I could move all of my furniture without having to unload all the stuff on it, move it around, and I love the way it's set up now. So when you those quick changes, you can make them at the end of the day if you were like, I don't like this piece of furniture. But other than that, it's to just believe in yourself. Like you're here for a reason. You know what you're doing. You've trained for this. Don't get frustrated. Just you know what to do. You can do it.
Yeah, just keep showing up and doing it every single day. So when you are showing up and you're in the nitty-gritty, I guess, what are some of the relationship building or classroom management tips that you have used throughout this school year?
So my biggest relationship building is just to listen. We have time every morning just to kind of sit and talk and share. 4K imagination is real. It is lively. You never know what you're going to get. Breakfast is full of stories. So just take that time to listen because it really does make a difference. And then we use smelly spots. And so that's just lip smacker chapstick. I have a 24 pack that has all different scents and smells. And so if I see a kid that comes in and sits on the carpet while everybody else is running around crazy, I just give them a little smelly spot and they're all like, oh, she got one now. I can go sit down. And then they're like, I get one now. I get one. I'm like, no, I got to see it first. So it really teaches them those expectations without having, it's not expensive. It's not buying toys and rewards all the time. It's not constantly having to keep up with adding points, taking away points, moving pictures. I know some people do clip charts and pictures, and it's none of that. It's just, I see it. Great job for doing what you're doing. Here's a little treat, and it's not harmful, and they love it. They have so much fun with it.
They're seriously so cute. And like Peyton said, you can buy huge packs of these. If you don't want to buy a huge pack, you don't have to either. But go to Walmart, go to Target, just find those scented chapsticks for those little kids. You rub a little dab. I usually see it on the back of the hand, right? Do you put
Hmm.
it? Yep, on the back
Yep,
of
that's
the
exactly
hand.
where I put it.
Perfect. And then they can kind of just smell it and just love it. And all the other kids want to do the right thing because they want to get their smelly
Hmm.
scent as well. So great tip. I love how you also said to just listen and get to know your students a little bit better, because that's the foundation of building a relationship with them, is truly listening and hearing out kind of their perspective, their interests, and getting to know them that way. So there is one more thing I want to talk about, I guess, today. What are some of the fun activities that you've done with your students this school year?
Oh, I love this is the aspect of kindergarten or 4K that I love. We get to have fun all the
Yeah.
time. So we do centers every day. We have a block center, a reading center, a writing center, a science center, a dramatic play center, a STEM center, a literacy and math center, and they're all based on our theme for the like about 2 weeks. So we just got done closing up our flower shop and our dramatic play area. We've done a tree farm, we've done a kitchen, we've done an auto shop. We've just had a lot of fun there, and our science center kind of bases off of that. We've done pumpkin investigations, we've done the five senses through gingerbread men, just different things like that. And then we have had themed days. So last week we did a glow day, which was absolutely amazing. We had stations set up around the room that were all academic based. They were focused on letters, sounds, shapes, numbers, counting. We had several people come in, and it was probably one of my most favorite days this entire year. We've done a Grinch day where we had the Grinch come and visit. We went trick or treating down the halls. All the teachers in the school hopped on board. I was like, "Does anybody want to pass out candy to my kids?" And everybody messaged me and was like, "Yeah, we'll stop by and we'll drop some candy in their bag." So that was a lot of fun. Today we actually did a camping day. We camped out and got ready for kindergarten, read a bunch of kindergarten Here We Come books, um, made some s'mores in a bag. Tomorrow we're having a beach day. So just some really fun things that we're able to do in 4K.
It sounds like all the days are the best day ever. I definitely want to
They
come
are.
be a student in your classroom.
They
So
are the best.
with all of those fun things that you've done, is there anything that you're thinking, oh, I might change that up next year, or I definitely want to do this different?
Um, there are some things I wish I would have changed out centers a little bit more at the beginning of the year. I was trying to get materials ready for that. That's an expensive thing to do, to change out materials every 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So I kind of focused on one center this year to change out materials in, and then each year just kind of focus on one more until I get that up. I've had donors choose a lot to purchase some of those materials that I can use. Um, but just change up, and then I'll have a better organizational flow to the days of just how they'll work, how they'll go. I had no idea how Glow Day would really run.
Mhm.
But what we did worked. There are definitely some changes to like our camp out day to day that I would do. I couldn't get the tent set up by myself this morning. So that was fun trying to do. But there are some just organizational things that I think will flow a little bit better next year.
For sure. And I'm so glad to hear that you are reflecting on that and kind of just taking those mental notes of, it was awesome. It was still an awesome day, but there are just some small tweaks that can be made.
Hmm.
So, with that, do you have any last minute advice that you want to give to any first year teachers that are listening today?
My advice would be just to have fun in doing what you're doing. It can be very stressful, but it's only as stressful as you make it. Have fun. People know that you're in your first year. People know that it's hard. Have fun, love your kids, and don't give up on yourself. Just push through. It's gonna get more comfortable as the year goes through. You're gonna learn, you're gonna mess up, you're gonna make mistakes. We all do. Share those mistakes with your kids to let them see that you're also human. They make mistakes, we make mistakes. It makes it a little bit more personable, instead of just an authoritative figure in the room. Um, but enjoy what you're doing.
Yes. Live and love it every single day. Your students can definitely tell when you are enjoying something versus when you're not, and they
Mhm.
feed off that energy. So I love that. Okay, so if anyone wants to reach out to you, I know you've kind of been taking a little social media break from your teacher page, but if they want to send you a message over the summer, are they able to?
Yes, ma'am. I have that notifications turned on for that, and it's Payton in PreK, Payton in PreK on Instagram. I think I have a TikTok too that I have not added to either lately, but I'm hoping as I'm more comfortable in my year to get back into that next year.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for everything that you shared today. Thank you so much for all the things that you are doing to serve your students. And how many days left do you have for the rest of the year?
I only have 3,
Oh
and
my
I
gosh.
am so sad.
Oh. Well, enjoy those last 3 days with your kiddos.
I sure will. Thank you so, so much, and I'm so excited that I got to be here and talk with you today.
Absolutely.